So today, this is episode 48 of the Sandbox podcast. My name is Wet Hair, and I'm joined
Your name
by...
is Wet Hair.
For those of you who are not watching the YouTube version of this, at the moment, I've just got back from work. I've had a nice shower, and I'm tucking into a good chat with Jack, and you're going to be
My
listening to
name's
it all.
Jack. My name is Tits McGee.
What makes you Tits McGee?
Wet Hair and Tits McGee, and I am drinking a soft and juicy Cloudwater Session IPA.
For the audio listeners, a giant boobed man is holding up a beer to the camera.
Yeah. It's beer with big ideas, and this is our official sponsor.
Yes. So me and Jack are getting paid lots of money for this episode, and the longer you watch, the more filthy we get.
No other IPA is available.
I am drinking the complete opposite in terms of the beer world. Look at this.
Oh, a nice bottle of Summer Lightning with a very handsome chap on the label on the
Really,
bottle.
really handsome chap. It's from Hopback Brewery.
Looks
And
like Hagrid.
it's so funny. It's like really cute. And it says, "This is the brewery conditioned version of Summer Lightning. Probably Britain's most awarded cask golden ale."
Man. Well, they said probably, so you can't sue them.
No, you can't. Because I was planning to. Like when I first read that, I was on the phone to my lawyer. But false
naturally.
alarm.
False alarm.
So,
for a second there, they were going to insinuate that your beer wasn't the most awarded.
Well, that would be a crime, considering I have literally brewed a beer that is, in 2011, considered the best beer in the entirety of the United Kingdom.
There you go. Back when Jamie was 12 years old.
So, we're going to be talking today on this podcast. We're going to be changing it up a little bit. We're going to be talking about games and movies today.
Okay.
I know a lot of you probably stopped watching at this point because you're looking forward to a makeup tutorial, but we're changing it up, going in a new direction.
Well, a lot of people probably stopped watching because, according to our YouTube analytics, people watch our videos for 22 seconds before clocking out. If you are watching
it's like,
and not listening, you will notice I have a fresh new haircut. My first professional haircut in 6 months. There is a reason to stick around. You can see more angles of my hair, maybe, if I move my head.
I have this vision of this guy coming onto our channel and staring at this video for 22 seconds when we're calling each other Boob McGee and Wet Hair, and then they just click out. Like, that wasn't funny enough.
I don't blame him. We're not very funny.
No, I don't think we're very funny at all.
No. Are we starting with movies or video games today, Jamie? That is the real question.
Today we're going to start with video games because you had your time in the limelight and it's gone to your head a little bit.
It did go to my head.
So I'm going to rein it in a little and start off. Oh, look at the head on this beer.
That's good head.
That is good head. So, I've got a little list of... On this podcast, I realised we have some real random news things. They're like a collection of things that I've researched and also just random things that I'm like, huh. So...
That's what it is.
I mean, this is
just
episode...
Jack and Jamie talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Yeah. So, obviously, this is Sandbox 48. So, if you're a seasoned veteran, you must enjoy this type of podcast quite a lot, and you know exactly what you're in for. But for those of you who have gone past 22 seconds and have put up with my very tired, poor speech that I am currently displaying to you right now, you'll see that some of these news announcements that I'm going to make are not on par with others. We have game announcements, and we have very, very specific graphics settings in a PC game type announcement.
Okay, this is very much just whatever Jamie wants. I like that you say these news announcements I'm going to make as if you are announcing this news for the first time.
It went through my head that is exactly how it sounded, and I kind of liked it. It kind of made me feel
Right,
quite
this is
important.
exclusive information from Openly Beta, never been revealed before.
So you may have seen on the internet that Jason Schreier, um, well-known gaming insider, found
Sure.
and leaked Last of Us remake.
Oh.
Now, if you're hearing this, if you're reading this as well, it's all false. I was actually the true insider, and I just decided that me and Jason go back quite a lot, not quite far,
Yeah.
and I thought here's more of a platform in which to speak this information that I discovered. I don't think anyone would believe me if I just decided to talk about Last of Us remake, considering there's already a Last of Us remake and it came out a few years ago.
Yes, you thought you'd let Jason have this one.
Yeah, Jason's got this one, and
Yeah,
he did a great job because everyone knows about this now.
Yeah, he did
But
do a good job.
what you, the listener, don't know is Jack's hot take on the matter. Jack, how do you feel about Last of Us remake for the PlayStation 5?
You mean the remake?
No, the last one was a remaster, but this is an actual remake.
Oh, that's true. I feel it is unnecessary. I'm intrigued. I'm assuming it's to do with the show. They want to build hype around the show. They don't want to release a third game. So they're just remaking the first game, which is still a heck of a ton of effort. I'm wondering if they're going to make the main characters look more like the characters from the show, which you may have said to me, or someone said to me.
I believe it was someone, yeah.
I believe it was someone, or maybe it's something I read online. Either way, I want Naughty Dog to work on something else.
So it is, just to confirm, it is Naughty Dog who are developing this.
Yeah.
That makes
That's
me.
probably the big news.
So they made 2 games in the last generation, which that's fine, right? That's because they're really high quality. It's cool. But
Oh yeah, they were huge games.
if one of their 2 games for the PlayStation 5 generation is a remake, that's kind of sad because you know that they're going to put a lot of effort into it, and
Yeah.
it just surprises me. It surprises me that they're not doing a new IP for the new generation.
I thought it was very unnecessary when Toys for Bob remade Spyro the Dragon 21 years later. Ended up being incredible. I was like, the old one holds up fine. Now we're remaking The Last of Us.
Jack, there is quite a difference between those 2 games. Spyro the Dragon absolutely deserved the remake treatment. I think.
Jamie, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Even in that situation, I was skeptical.
Oh.
So imagine how I feel about this situation.
I get it.
I mean, I now fully, I can completely admit that the Roguelike trilogy is amazing and it was very worthy of being made. But I was like, oh, we don't need it. We don't need a Spyro remake. The other one looks great. Look at him. So, he's got 3 polygon head.
Last of Us Remastered on the PS4 was a rehash of the original game, just at 1080p and 60 FPS. That was it, right?
Would you say it's not a real remaster on Jamie standards?
No, it's a port. Like there were no actual upgrades, as far as memory serves. I'm pretty sure it was literally they might have like increased the resolution of shadows, and I know they added a photo mode, but that does not count. It does not count.
Photo mode not in the original. I thought it was, but yeah, either way,
it is an enhanced port. Is the nomenclature for that?
That doesn't sound as good though.
It doesn't, does it?
The Last of Us enhanced port.
The enhanced port, in brackets, from PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4 console.
The enhanced port sounds like the moon place that they go to on Treasure Planet.
That's really funny, actually.
Thank you. The viewers may not think so, but we make ourselves laugh.
Oh, yeah, we do, and that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why not just bump it up to 4K and 120 FPS and call it a day? Why does it have to be a remake? What are they going to change?
Why not just not do it?
To be honest, Jack, I'm going to move on this conversation to another topic because
I mean, there's nothing else to say at this point.
I think our
other than why are you doing it?
Our riveting hot take is Last of Us remake bad. No do.
It's what everyone else is already saying. For the record, The Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time.
For the record, Last of Us was a 7 out of 10 experience for me. So,
yeah, we have very different opinions there.
According to Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, I think I got that right. The PlayStation 5 will have more exclusives than previous consoles.
Okay. It would be nice when they start coming out.
I mean, that's a bit unfair. Every single time as a new console, every single time, people are like, but where's the games? Like,
Jamie,
just look at every other gen. Look at it, they do it every year.
You'd think they'd learned from the previous gens, Jamie, and they haven't.
No, the PlayStation 5 is impossible to get. They are selling the absolute maximum number of PlayStation 5s. They made the best decision ever.
They did, to be fair, because you've got people like us who would, okay, maybe not us because we're not, but people similar to us who would buy one in a heartbeat, even with no games yet.
Yeah. Oh,
it's an investment.
100%.
Games are coming.
If I didn't have my PC, I absolutely would have been. I would have had it by now for sure.
Just play Astro's Playroom over and over again.
Yeah, I bought the PS4 on launch, and there was nothing on it for quite a long time. Like it was a year, and I vividly remember when Wolfenstein New Order, Wolfenstein New Order came out, and it was kind of like, here we go, the first proper next gen game. Like it was on PlayStation 3, but it was so bad, it was kind of like, no, this is a PS4 game. And I went to game, and I like slammed it down on the till, like, I'll have this. And they said,
disc.
Fantastic, we'd like to see some ID, please. Like, bah.
How old were you? 26. I suppose you would have been around.
I would have been 19. Like 17 or something, I think. That seems too young though. How old were we in college?
24 now.
How old were we in college?
16 to 18.
Yeah. That's.
And you have an early birthday.
Yeah, I would have been 16, 17. I think I was. Yeah, I think I was 17. So even if I did have an ID on me, I still wasn't allowed to buy the game. How depressing is that? Like,
that's really funny.
Sorry, this is a total tangent, but I'm going to go into it anyway.
It's a fun one. I
got really mad, right? Because I just walked into game. I never buy games from game, but I walked in there, and I was really excited for the game. It was more expensive than on Amazon, by like £7. But like, no, I'm going to pick up this game. I'm going to take it on the train home and get really excited. Come home, put it in the disc drive, boom. And wasn't allowed to buy it. So I'm going to get it on Amazon. I never go to game, and they just didn't want my money. But
Amazon don't ID you.
They don't ID you. Nor if you download games either.
Yeah. You could just buy knives on Amazon.
I'm not sure how I feel. This is don't take this too seriously.
To the tangent.
It is. Don't take this too seriously because I haven't thought it through well enough. But
okay,
it almost makes me think.
To say on a podcast.
It almost makes me think that age restrictions on games and movies really shouldn't be enforced at all.
Okay.
Or at least
I,
have it so that it's only if you're like under the age of, I don't know, 11, and they'll say, hey, you can't buy this 18. But
yeah.
like, who, I don't know, it's
It
not
is a
going to
tough
harm
one because
you.
I want to say, well, yeah, but then like little kids are going to be playing Grand Theft Auto, but then they're surely not because their parents would see what they're doing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And if your parents didn't know that you were playing that game, then I mean there are ways of getting games, right? It's I feel like if
Yeah.
you want to have a game that you aren't allowed to buy in the store, you will be able to get that game somehow.
That's definitely an awful idea, but it's one I've never thought about enough to contest.
Okay, this is what I mean, right? It's not a substance. You're not going to be getting little kids addicted on something that's going to kill them in the future.
I,
It's
I
it's a
mean,
video
in
game.
a way, maybe.
There is no evidence to
Get
suggest that
addicted to
violent.
GTA 5 and
No,
then they don't move to the point that they get bed sores.
I mean that's ridiculous because there's Fortnite is the most addictive game made in
Yeah,
the
yeah, it's
last
true.
10 years.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take. I'm sure if someone's gone past not just the 22-second boundary, but also the 16 minutes, 10 seconds boundary, and just heard me say that, I'm sure they'll be ready in the comments to tell me
Oh,
why I'm
yeah.
catastrophically wrong with what I just said.
I
Game,
mean, well, then you just have the issue of kids are just, they might see sex, violence, swear words, things their parents don't want them to see. You're just making it easier for them to access that. They might sneak it in their console at night when their parents are asleep.
what are they buying that with, though? Games are expensive.
Well, maybe they get pocket money, save up. I could buy a game after a few months, pocket money.
Well, as in currently, right now.
Currently, right now, yeah, it's the life of the unemployed. I'm back on pocket money.
Get an extra 10p if you do the chores.
Yeah, exactly.
So moving
Oh
on,
man. Moving on swiftly.
there was a brand new Pokemon Snap trailer,
Yep.
and I messaged Jack immediately
Kid
after
was
watching the
about to say
trailer,
this.
and I was kind of like, I had this, kind of a warm and fuzzy feeling, like in my heart after watching the
Yeah.
trailer, and I felt very happy, and that's terrible because this is not a cheap game, um, and I probably can't afford it right now, so I'm probably gonna say no, but man, I want that game.
Save up enough pocket money. It was very unlike Jamie. He's not generally into this sort of game, I'd say. A Pokemon Snap type game. And I received that message. Jack, I really want Pokemon Snap. I
But
said, oh snap.
he didn't actually, for the record, he's not clever enough to do that on the spot.
No, it took me a few weeks to think of that one, actually.
So I appreciate that I'm dominating the conversation a little bit here.
That's kind of the point of this segment.
I guess so.
I'll dominate you soon, don't worry.
Please do. please please don't take that from this and make it into a
Clip
gif.
that. Clip that Twitch chat.
So I don't know about you, but I'm kind of getting this whimsical Nintendo Wii renaissance, and it's growing. It's part of that fuzzy ball in my chest, and it's growing.
Yeah,
And I've been to the doctor, and they've said it's absolutely not a physical condition, so I'm good on that front.
that's good. But they
And
said it is terminal.
yeah, it's terminal in that I'll die of happiness. It You've got Mario Golf, you've
Yeah,
got Pokemon, sorry, new Pokemon Snap.
yeah.
There's not that many more
Is
on
that the
this list,
two?
but I really want them. And about like 5 years ish, maybe ago, if you'd said to me, "Show me these games," I would be so uninterested. But
Yeah,
it's been so long since
it's
the
nostalgic
cuddly.
enough.
It is.
Yeah.
I haven't had a game. I got sick of it on the Wii. I got sick of the whole cutesy thing. I was done. I kind of want it
Yeah.
back. I want to do some sports. I want to do some sports. Lockdown's over. We can go outside. I want to go into my living room and swing the Joy Cons at the TV.
I want to play inaccurate golf, where you've got to putt it, but you've got to putt it a tiny distance. So you're trying to do a tiny putt, but it won't register. So you do a hard putt and it goes way past, and you get so angry. That's what I want.
Tell me your opinion on. Are you feeling Wii nostalgia yet? It's a bit early for that, I guess.
I feel like I'm not, but at the same time, I feel like I've kind of consistently felt Wii nostalgia since it released. I'm not. What I'm feeling nostalgic for specifically is Wii Sports Resort. I love the whole vibe of that game, all the music, the whole island
Yeah,
design.
complete. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Wii Play nostalgia. That's a lot of fun. I think watching Zoe, good friend Zobot, shout out. She played Wii Tanks on Wii Play on stream. That is a good game. Wii Play in general. Yeah,
There
I'm
needs to
kind
be
of
a
feeling that.
balance. Like, if you have only those games, then you're going to switch off because they're too simple. But
Switch off.
a little dose, see, a little dose every now and again to keep you topped up. I need that. I miss that.
The Switch doesn't have kind of a big recognizable branding in the same way that the Wii did with the Mii's and everything.
No.
Like you had Wii Sports, Wii Party, Wii Play, blah blah blah. But the Switch doesn't have those. I think it needs those. Weirdly.
No, Jack, it's needed an identity since launch.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic piece of hardware, but it is quite soulless, in my opinion.
Well, for me, the identity I think of. Well, the thing I think of for kind of a Nintendo game, but that's wholly a Nintendo game. Like it's not a Mario game, it's not a Zelda game. It's just the console. The only one that comes to mind is Ring Fit Adventure. It's got that kind of Wii Fit aesthetic, a little bit
Yes.
about it, but there's not really any other games that are like that, where it's just a Switch game, if you know what I mean.
No, for sure.
Because when I think of that, I think of Breath of the Wild. That's
Yeah.
what I think of when I think of Switch.
No, I don't think there aren't actually that many original first party Switch games.
Yeah.
And okay, here's a good example. I think it's good. The 3DS.
Yeah.
Day one, turn that thing on. You've got Face Raiders, an AR face shooting game. The 3DS comes with the AR stickers, and you have an app which lets you play with them. You have Street Pass, coolest freaking idea ever.
Yeah.
A fully featured, whole thing. You've got an activity log, but it's not just a list of numbers and words. It's like you launch the app and your Mii comes on and he opens a book and he looks inside and it's got all these animations and it all kind of gels together. The Switch has nothing like that.
I mean, the DS had Picto Chat.
Yeah, the Switch doesn't have any of these cool features that those other consoles had.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything very unique. It feels very much like a standard console, more so than other ones. And you can make a Mii.
Yeah, but
it's so unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary. They basically 100% put that on there just so that they could port over games from previous generations that have Mii's in them, like Mario Kart Deluxe.
Like Mario Kart, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. We stan Switch Play, Switch Party, and Switch Sports Resort.
Hey, we had 1-2 Switch actually. It's reminding me. That was awful.
Yeah, that's probably the only Switch game. Maybe that's why they gave up. It's got good branding as well. It just needs to do something with it. Like the click noise, the very recognizable Joy-Cons. It's all there.
I mean, it sold amazingly, but
yeah,
somehow.
But we know better.
The Wii U,
as businessmen,
the Wii U had it's the menu navigation on Wii U was unbelievably slow, and that's not good. However, it had like a flavor. It had that kind of quirkiness going for it. It wasn't just
Mm.
a console. It had
Yeah.
cool little animations. It had
Mm.
music on the shop channel. You know,
Yeah, I mean, you need bring back iconic music. Like, I literally don't think there is much more iconic gaming music than the Wii music. Do 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 do. That's up there with like Mario.
it actually is like it's actually probably more recognizable,
Especially because it's such a meme.
except for the Mario. In fact, I would go so far as to say that it's more recognizable than the ground theme, or Super Mario
Overworld.
Brothers 1-1. I
Yeah.
reckon it's more recognizable than even that nowadays.
We need to take that to the street once lockdown's over. We'll
Just
play
play
people
these,
each of them and ask them what they are.
but you'll be able to go up to. In fact, everyone who isn't a youngish kid, because if you played that to my brother, he wouldn't actually recognize it from the console. He might have seen a meme of it, but he doesn't actually
Yeah.
know what it is.
Yeah. I want to do that now. I'm going to go out with a clipboard and just say like, "Oh, I'm a student. Can I play you 2 bits of music?"
Like, yeah, but if they know what it is, they'll be like, "Why? Why are you playing me the Me Maker theme?"
Oh man, I'm gonna get stabbed, but it's gonna be well worth it.
I've got another test for you, and another one in the Wii Shop channel theme.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because that's potentially more recognizable, but I don't know.
I did agree.
You don't agree?
I wonder how many
No, actually, I
people
think people
actually used the Wii Shop channel who weren't gamers.
yeah. No, in fairness, people definitely spent more time in the meme maker. You know, when we start this news segment, by the end of it, I can never remember what the news was.
Every single one of these headlines, like we've got, except for Last of Us remake, which is kind of juicy.
We stayed on topic, and then there was nothing to talk
We
about.
haven't actually got like these any crazy headlines here, but we're having a lot of fun.
We
I
are.
do want to
That's what it's all
hand
about. Otherwise, what's the
the
point?
mic over to you with movies. However, can I
Yeah,
just
yeah, that's
list
cool.
off the rest of what I've got because there are some
List
interesting
it.
little bits in here.
Quick fire. See how many tangents we can find.
One of them is just me complaining, which I know you want to hear. It's Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD is a PS2 game and it's a remaster and it costs £50 and it's capped to 30 FPS on PC.
Yeah,
Enough said.
sounds ridiculous.
Resident Evil 4 VR was
Yeah,
announced
interesting.
for the Oculus Quest 2. I'm hoping it's not exclusive. We'll see.
Okay,
Um, there was a couple of Battlefield announcements. Um, Battlefield 6 apparently has the biggest team of any Battlefield game ever working on it. Uh,
cool.
they said it's going to be good. It's unlikely that they were going to say it was going to be bad. So,
Yeah, that wouldn't be very good from a marketing perspective.
however, Jack, I said two. The second announcement is Battlefield Mobile, which,
Oh,
according to them, is a fully fledged game.
fair. Like Call of Duty mobile, is that a
Definitely.
thing?
Call of Duty Mobile is massive.
Yeah, I feel really ignorant for not actually remembering if that was a thing or not. Is that Warzone or is it its own thing?
No, Warzone's not. Warzone's a battle royale game, as in like separate. It's not mobile.
I didn't know if there was like a mobile version of Warzone or something.
And then
PUBG.
we have. I don't know if this was in the last one or not,
Yeah.
but Resident Evil Village is getting a mercenaries mode, and I can't remember if we mentioned that last time or not. I don't think we did.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Really hyped for that. Really, really hyped.
Yeah, me too.
There was one more, but it's just sad. So I'm gonna move on to movies and get some more upbeat goodness.
We could do the sad news.
So
Now I'm quite intrigued.
Days Gone.
Yeah.
The developers pitched Days Gone 2 to Sony, and they said no. There's no Days Gone 2.
Well, Is that it?
Well, it's just kind of
It's
interesting because
dead.
it's interesting that this information got to be public because that sort of stuff doesn't normally see the light of day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't. The reason was that it had mixed reviews, which is true.
It said no thanks.
It's kind of part of this greater headline of Sony reportedly focusing more on AAA, even more so on AAA, and
Hmm.
surefire hits.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff.
Fair dues. Right, movie news then. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do some quick fire stuff that I'm not too interested in. Quiet Place 2 planned to be released very, very soon.
Oh
Obviously
yeah,
it was supposed to come out like last year, but they said they wanted it to come out in cinema, so they just kind of shelved it for a bit. Looks pretty good.
mm.
I have very mixed feelings about the first one, but I do like Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt. It's expected to match the original movie at the box office. I feel like that's potentially, very, very
Yeah.
optimistic thoughts.
Especially with this delay. As a
Yeah, we'll see. Um, I can't remember which actor it was. I think it's the actor who plays Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat movie. They revealed that they are contracted for 4 Mortal Kombat sequels.
as in 4 more movies.
I think 4 more, even if not, at least 3 more. But I'm pretty sure it was 4 more Mortal Kombat movies. So they're gonna go deep into Mortal Kombat for this franchise. Um, I'm still excited for the first one. It's got some pretty damn good reviews.
I can't
Which,
wait. Yeah,
yeah, you don't hear that very often. Jim Henson, the creator of The Muppets, is getting a Disney biopic.
I
Yeah.
really want to see that.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
I love Jim Henson and The Muppets, but I'm never too keen on the Disney biopics. I always find them quite a little bit more boring.
I can't think of any.
I'm thinking like there was the Mary Poppins one about the writer of Mary Poppins. There was the one about Walt Disney himself, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, the Walt Disney
Uh,
one was kind of weird actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, might be good. We know nothing about it, so we can't really we can't really complain. Sorry, I've just found the Sub-Zero article. The actor's name is Joe Taslim. He signed a 5 movie contract, so 4 more movies confirmed. Um, The Conjuring 3. Did you hear about this?
hey, that's hype. No,
Do you want to know the subtitle of it?
yes, please tell me.
The devil made me do it. Don't you love that?
Oh, I hate it.
I know that you're a big fan of Conjuring. I don't think I've seen the second one yet. Um,
What
I saw the
is
first
this?
one when I wasn't very. Wait, what? Does it look bad?
No, creepy looking beast when you Google it. Sorry for
Oh,
interrupting
okay,
you.
that's good. That's a good review. Yeah, I I don't know a whole lot about The Conjuring as a franchise. I saw the first one, I think in GCSE media in the light of day, so it wasn't the best viewing for a
That's
horror
really
movie.
interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I know something that isn't actually here, but I want to talk about it. The Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings trailer dropped.
Of course it did.
It
Yes.
looks really sick, I think.
Yeah, it looks really sick.
It's cool.
Completely different.
Yeah, it's just a really it's a really kind of this gonna sound like a bad thing, but it's a very cliche like 80s kung fu fighting film. It looks like potentially it's going it's like a Jaws quote. It's gonna do for Asians what Black Panther did for black people. But it's a bit of Asian representation in Marvel. I know we've had a tiny bit with
Um,
Doctor Strange,
I don't
but
want
like
to explore this too much or at all, but I feel like it's a bit different. But it is really cool to have a an Asian superhero for
yeah,
sure. Like, yeah,
and the Mandarin is back.
no,
Yeah, the evil villain dad character. That's the real Mandarin.
Yes, they're
However,
finally doing it. I
I
didn't
went on the
realize.
IMDb page. Ben Kingsley was credited, so I'm wondering if Travis Slattery is going to appear in this.
Mm, I feel like it will be in more of a flashback capacity.
Maybe. I think that's hilarious. I love the idea of them trying to retcon the whole man. I don't really need to retcon it, but them addressing it would be funny.
That's really interesting. I'm really excited.
Yeah, yeah. The guy who plays the Mandarin, he's apparently a huge Hong Kong actor and huge Asian actor in general, and he's supposed to be like the Brad Pitt of Hong Kong. I don't know who he is, but apparently he's been in loads of good films, really huge. So, it's cool that people like that are now going to get recognized more in the Western world. I
This,
think it looks really
yeah.
good. I don't know if we talked about this last week. Sorry, we can go back to that.
That's all right. Carry on.
Do you want to briefly talk about the trailer to
No, 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 no.
Shang-Chi?
I haven't got much to add.
That's fair. It looks good. It looks like it's got
Mm.
very good action, very kung fu fighting goodness. It opens up the MCU a bit more to get a bit more weirdness. I think some dragon characters are confirmed to appear. Crazy stuff like that.
Okay.
You do that face, Janie. Remember how weird it was when the Guardians of the Galaxy first appeared? Or
Yeah, I
Doctor
know.
Strange. All of these things.
I suppose so.
They seem sort of left field, and they always slot them in somehow. So I don't know if we talked about this last week or if this is something we talked about separately in the week, but Sony and Netflix have struck up a new deal. And we were talking about what that meant for Spider-Man
Hmm.
movies. It's confirmed that the Spider-Man movies will be streaming on Disney Plus, even with the new Sony Netflix deal.
But they're not on Disney Plus right now.
Well, they're going to be at some point.
How weird.
Well, actually, it doesn't say they're going to be. It says they'll be able to. It's assuming if that was included in the deal that Sony are planning to put them on Disney Plus, maybe as well as Netflix. I don't know how that deal is going to work,
I really hope they go to Disney Plus because it's this really awkward, annoying couple of holes in the
especially for you and you've been
because
rewatching
it's
them.
it's a really lovely way that they presented it, and they've done it in
Mm,
phases. They've actually
yeah,
fully embraced the phase, and yeah, they have bunched them into the right phase. But not having Spider-Man feels really wrong because
yeah.
of
Also,
it.
those films
Yeah,
are, well, maybe not so much the first one, but the second one at least is vital to the overall story. Have you still
hey,
not seen the second one?
haven't seen the second one yet.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's going to work. It might be that the non-MCU Spider-Man films go to Netflix and the MCU Spider-Man films go to Disney Plus. It might be that the MCU Spider-Man films go to both, which would be interesting.
Hmm.
I don't know how it's going to work.
It would seem a
Um,
bit petty if it's coming to Netflix. It seems a little bit petty to not put it on Disney Plus as well.
mm,
That whole
well, I
agreement
wouldn't
is
so much say
so
that.
messy.
For me, it feels like that would be impossible to do with the agreement, but they've obviously made it work somehow, which is kind of impressive.
The agreement that has got to be one of the messiest movie agreements that I'm aware of. It's so
Yeah,
confusing. And like they've got
Marvel in general with rights to characters and stuff. It's obviously
yeah.
just because 20 years ago they were like, no one wants to see an X-Men film. Give that to Fox.
Yes.
Then look where we are. And then they just bought Fox. I think I have only one more bit of news to talk
Oh
about.
my god, I love that so much. That never really crossed my mind. It's just
Yeah,
like, oh wow.
I'm convinced the only reason they brought Fox is because they wanted the X-Men. I don't think they care about Simpsons or anything else.
I mean, Fox make a hell of a lot of different shows and movies.
Mm. I'm pretty sure Disney scrapped loads of them when they brought Fox.
I'm pretty sure an enormous part of this decision was nothing to do with IP and entirely to do with numbers and whether they'd get growth from buying that company or not.
I'll tell you what numbers it was to do with, Jamie. Number of X-Men they could squeeze into the MCU.
We're getting all of them eventually. Give it 30 years and they'll all be in there.
Oh, not even that. Give it 3,000 years.
Man, imagine what movies are going to look like in 30 years.
Imagine what the MCU is going to look like in 30 years. Imagine, like, let's say we have kids in the future, Jamie. This is still an ongoing series. We're like, right, okay, to watch this one.
Yeah, imagine.
You've got to watch 700 hours of content.
Yeah.
And then I can take you to the cinema to watch the new movie.
Such a good point. Okay, so it's fine because if you think about the comic books, clearly they don't expect you to start from the first comic book.
No, they do. They expect you to start in the 1930s.
But like, it's probably going to become the same sort of thing. It's going to be like comic books, and you won't be necessary to watch them. Like
there'll be like references to other films and stuff, but you can just ignore it.
Let's be honest. In 30 years' time, there is no way that they're going to even be making references to, for example, Iron Man 1. There's no way.
I think they will.
Can we make a
They'll
bet?
say Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
No, they refer to that scientist who helped him do it, but they use it in a way which you 100% would not understand what they're talking about unless you saw that movie.
Oh man!
Or
they just keep saying his name.
His character comes back, which, in fairness, in 30 years' time, he might not even be alive. But his character comes
Robert Downey
back.
Jr.
No, not Robert Downey Jr., the scientist who helped him. Hey, Robert Downey Jr. might not be alive in 30 years.
I guess everyone might not be alive in 30 years, but it felt very targeted.
Man, Jack. Okay, I want to make a bet because
How long will Robert Downey Jr. live?
We're gonna be alive for 30 years. You know, unless something bad happens to us. If we die of old age, we're not gonna die when we're 50. So I want to bet.
Yeah.
How many years? Oh wait, let me see how I'm gonna phrase this bet.
How am I gonna tastefully phrase this bet?
I want a year. What year will the MCU either cease to exist or have a complete reboot?
2149.
That was quite flippant. I'm gonna say
it's my bet.
I'm really thinking about this. The MCU's gone on for so many years already, so
I googled when will the MCU end, and Google with confidence said 2028.
That's really funny.
The MCU will either end because it's losing popularity or the box office gross is declining, or Disney decides to reboot the universe. Kevin Feige said he has comic book material that will last him until 2028. Google saw that and said, this is when the MCU will end.
I'm going to say 2052. No, it's too close to yours. No, it's too close to yours. 2055.
Mine was 2149.
Yeah.
2149.
Oh. I completely glossed over that.
You think we're living in 2121?
I definitely had that moment. Yeah. Anyway.
No, I think it will end in 128 years. That was my guess.
That is truly foolish.
Well,
because
I'm not going to be alive to disprove it.
I hate this because there's no middle ground. Like, this bet will never see a conclusion. We'll have to tell our kids, right, you owe Hogsby Jr. 20 quid if when we get past the 2090s, if the MCU is still going, then your granddad won.
I'm definitely calling my grandchild Hoxby Jr. I don't know why I'm naming them, but apparently I am.
Imagine that. You're calling him Hogsby Jr., or you're not going to be my
I,
daughter.
God, how depressing is it going to be when we're on our deathbeds and we're like, we wasted so much of our time watching the MCU and we're never going to see how it ends?
That would be. I think what would be more depressing for me, actually, would
Yeah,
be seeing it
caring
end.
on my
I
deathbed.
would much. No, I would much rather see um see it carry on and see my kids or grandkids hopefully be into the MCU. That would be really heartwarming. And then I'd probably die of happiness at that point.
That's good. Going back to dying of happiness. So when you say grandkids, hopefully, you're going to be one of those parents that pressures their children to have more children.
It wasn't that I was going to pressure them. It's more hopefully I live long enough to see grandchildren
That's fair.
because I'm not having kids anytime soon. So I'm going to be pretty old when I'm a granddad.
You don't know that, Jamie. Can I fling us onto the final bit of movie news?
Oh, you may.
This isn't movie news, this is television news. The Fairly Odd Parents live action reboot is going to begin filming in June. And this is when I really understand all the American Second Amendment gun nuts who really want to hold on to their guns, because it would be really handy to be able to shoot myself in the skull.
What are
Have
they
you
going to
seen
look like? What's Timmy going to look like? What's the freaking
Jamie?
fairies going to look like? They're going to look
Jamie,
awful.
Google grow up Timmy Turner right this second. It's the first in the Fairly Odd Parents live action movie trilogy. I'm also going to Google it because I want
Oh
to see what the images
no,
are.
no, no,
For all you audio
no.
listeners and video listeners, because we're not showing you, Drake Bell of Drake and Josh fame played Timmy Turner. He wore a pink hat, a whole pink suit, and Cosmo and Wanda were horrifying CGI monsters that floated around him. And it was a whole
Oh,
trilogy.
that looks so bad.
Jamie, do you want to know how the trilogy ended?
How did it end?
It ended with Timmy Turner falling into a pit of lava and fucking dying. And then
Wait,
he is
what?
resurrected as a fairy and he lives forever as a fairy.
How did they even do that scene? That sounds
Uh,
so
he's kind of off
gruesome.
camera. Yeah, it's terrible. Remember Channel Chasers, the Fairly Odd Parents special, where Timmy Turner eventually at the end realizes that one day he's going to grow up and be an adult and not have fairies anymore, and he comes to accept that. It's kind of the thesis of Fairly Odd Parents. It's about growing up and coming to terms with that. In this, he stays in eighth grade forever, which is somehow a loophole that allows him to keep his fairies. So he's like 30 years old and he's still a fully grown man in school with like 10-year-olds, just so he can keep his fairies. And he never grows up emotionally or mentally.
Oh, I hate it
And
so
then he
much.
bites the bullet and dies on lava.
Oh, I
I think if
really
you Google
hate
Timmy
it.
Turner death, you might actually get it. Maybe you won't. But basically,
Why would anyone? Oh wow! Don't
it's
type that
awful.
in. It's terrible. Oh god!
Timmy Turner death.
Don't type that in on Google.
Don't Google
You
that.
don't want
Don't
to see
Google
that.
that. Oh man. So they're making a live action series for some reason, and I use that as an excuse to talk about the live action movie trilogy that already exists, and it's terrifying.
Why now?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone who was ever involved in Fairly Odd Parents hates everything about it at this point.
I
But
hate
it's still happening.
the
I sent you an
insistence.
image, by the way, of live action cartoon Timmy Turner.
Um. Oh, I can't access that right now
That's
because
fine.
it would
That's
ruin.
fine.
It would ruin the video.
It'll ruin the whole recording. That's fine. We don't want our viewers to miss out on images anyway. So let's stop looking at those.
Oh, that hurts so
That's
much. So I don't really understand why they felt. Firstly, years ago when they made that original trilogy, why they felt the need to make it live action when the cartoon is
Hmm.
perfectly fine. They, I
Yeah,
don't.
it's there are a lot of things that can't be translated into live action in any capacity,
That
and Fairly Odd Parents
cartoon
is one of them. It's too
so
animated.
strongly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, nobody, no kid on this planet is watching Fairly Odd Parents right now. I I I assumed that show was long dead.
Yeah, if only.
But who's watching? What kid watches Fairly Odd Parents right now?
Don't know. They could be watching Adventure Time. They could be watching regular show. But apparently, there's some kids still watching Fairly
That
Odd
is
Parents.
exactly what my little brother watched.
There you go.
He probably wouldn't even know what Fairly Odd Parents is, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he watched a lot of cartoons and a variety
Mm.
of cartoons.
Yeah. It's like, move on, new IPs. It's cartoons. You can do anything you like.
Yeah, but they did a good job. I actually honestly think that the cartoons that my little brother used to watch
Yeah.
were hilarious. Like Amazing World of
No, no,
Gumball,
I know. I'm saying Fairly Odd
so good.
Parents needs to move
No,
on.
no, 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 no. I know what you're saying.
No, no, no.
I know I get what you're saying. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm just adding that it's already done. Like there are good cartoons that are taking it over, and why
Yeah.
they're not making a new series of Fairly Odd Parents. They're doing a live action, which is
Mm.
a whole other
I mean,
very
they might be making more animated
expensive.
ones. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's pointless. You're gonna need loads of special effects and stuff. Just do cartoon. I mean, regular show and Adventure Time. Obviously, when they were made, I was already at least a teenager. They're great to watch. I never watched them as a kid. They hold up. It's like SpongeBob. You can watch that as an adult.
Are
Fairly
you?
Odd Parents, not so much.
No. I used to. There were some shows when my brother was much younger, and
Yeah,
I used to be bored, and you'd be like, "Oh, watch this with me," and I used to just be like, "Oh, okay, if I have to." But then when he started getting into stuff like Amazing World of Gumball, I would sit there and
yeah,
watch it
that's
with
another
him
good
for
shout.
like hours because it was
Yeah,
actually really funny.
yeah, yeah. There's some shows are like that.
Some shows
That's
be
all I have
like
for
that.
news, Jamie. However, I seem to recall that you have missed out a very vital piece of game news, and I'm a bit disappointed that I have to take over this segment like this. You know, the developers of Celeste.
Man, I walked out the car. I walked out the car about an hour ago, an hour and 15 minutes
Yeah,
ago, and I was like, oh, I need to make sure to talk about that. That was the
yeah,
first thing that came to my head.
and then you
Um,
didn't. So the developers
yeah.
of Celeste and Towerfall Ascension, two games me and Jamie absolutely love. They're probably like our favorite indie studio at this point, right? Like I love them.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Yeah,
definitely up there.
yeah, for sure. They're up there at least.
Yeah.
Um, they have expanded to make a new studio called Extremely OK Games. They've got a bit of a bigger team, bit more funding behind them, a lot of fun. And they've announced a new game that they are working on called Earthblade. They did what they called a vibe reveal because they revealed very little apart from the vibe, which I love. It's just chill music playing, a green fantastical setting, and the title Earthblade. It's like a red and orange title with a sword and a flower going through it. It looks kind of viney. Reminds me of the vines you get on Towerfall Ascension. Yeah, we know very little about it, but it's very exciting to know that the developers of Celeste are working on a new game.
Gotta say, I am very excited that they are
Hmm.
making a more slow paced game
Yep.
because Celeste in particular is really quite stunning.
Yeah.
Really nice pixel art.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't mind just kind of hanging out in a world like
Yeah.
that rather than having to just, die and die and die and die.
Yeah. I mean, Celeste and Towerfall are exceedingly fast
Yeah,
paced.
yeah, yeah.
As much as I love the challenge of Celeste and the entire game in general. I've actually been replaying it recently, and I've very nearly completely finished everything, which is very exciting.
Wow.
It's been a long job, but some of my favorite moments in that game are like in the first level when you can climb up to a ledge and look out over the Forbidden City, and the
Yep.
music kind of calms down. You just sit there for a while. It's so good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd be hyped for more of that, a more chill experience, which it looks like they may be going for.
Yeah, when I say chill, I don't mind. It's not even like it could be a hard game, just
Yeah,
less like fast.
yeah, like challenge and then the calm segment in between
Yeah,
and
yeah,
challenge
yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. Ah,
Yeah,
it's hype. I'm really excited for it.
it's very hype. I can't wait. I think that's news done.
It is news done,
Bish
and
bash bosh.
I always say this: I can't hang around for too much longer because I'm a busy boy, but I'm always a busy boy,
That's very
and then
cool.
we end up talking for another like 40 minutes. So
Yeah, almost certainly will happen.
I'm going to quickly
Do you want to
bang
talk?
out. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, should we start this week with Falcon and Winter Soldier?
You know what? That is a very good shout.
Because otherwise we'll just have to rush it at the end.
Go for it.
I don't remember what happened last episode. Wait, so the one before last ended
Oh,
with
what a bad
John Walker
start.
killing the guy with the shield. Yes. Okay, so the episode started with him running away with the shield, and then Falcon and Sam and Bucky come up to John Walker and start bashing him to bits. Very reminiscent of Civil War. Such a good fight scene. Really awesome. I love the bit where Sam is wiping the blood off the shield and he's looking all sad. And it's a big, it really shows the the difference between him and John Walker. John Walker runs all the way there and he's just kind of, shields however. And then Sam, he's got a lot of respect for it. I liked John Walker's whole courtroom scene when he says, like, you made me, blah, blah, blah. I think he's such a good character.
He's a really good character.
Really, really well portrayed by Wyatt Russell. I think he doesn't get enough credit. We had an introduction of a new big character, Val, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which was very cool. She's obviously going to be a big bad guy coming up. She's going to put together an evil team or something. We had Zemo being taken to the raft by the Wakandans. Again, that's clearly set up for something big, some sort of big supervillain team up.
Yeah.
Or the Thunderbolts, I think they're called, like reformed supervillains or something. Something's happening over there. And then other than that, we had a whole lot of character building, really, didn't we? There wasn't a whole lot else. It was really good. We did have a bit more. We had a really good scene with Sam and Asaya, the old black Captain America, or not Captain America, like a superhuman enhanced person. There was a lot of cool kind of political back and forward there that was fun.
Yeah, I really appreciated that scene. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you said they didn't sugarcoat things. They said a lot of things. The way they phrased things, you would really expect them to say in a Marvel show.
It wasn't that what they were saying was exactly revolutionary. Like we've that story's been told many times before. It was the fact that they were addressing that in the MCU, which I really liked. I thought that was really cool that they actually went there.
And I think one of the things you said was they weren't being vague about it. They weren't saying us or stuff like that. They were saying black men. Like he was saying they won't let Captain America be black. And it's like, oh, that's quite powerful to hear, I guess. Yeah, I liked that. And then another thing you mentioned, which I thoroughly agree with, was there was some really weird editing and pacing in this episode.
That specifically in regards to the boat, which seems to be, you see that boat and you're in for a bad time. It was very weird. There was one scene in particular, the one that's just coming right now, and I think it's the one that you mentioned. They go and there's a few scenes like this actually, but there's one where they go and fix a pump or something.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like
sister comes over.
Like, Bucky wakes up and they go down to fix the pump, and they're like, "Ha, we fixed the pump," and that's it. Like, they don't
The weird
actually add to their character. It's just kind of, what was that?
the weird bit there, I get the whole thing is I think a lot of it is Bucky trying to make amends with people sort of thing. And it's just kind of generally showing their relationship improving. But there was just that really weird moment where they were fixing the pump or whatever, and his sister comes over and starts hounding them, and they're
Yeah,
having a little banter. And then they walk away, and it starts playing this music, and it's really like,
yeah,
yeah, America,
yeah,
and it's just that these two men strutting along through the docks, and then it immediately cuts to them practicing with the
yeah,
shield, and they're having a really serious conversation, and it feels like you're smack bang in the middle of the conversation, and it's like, did I miss something?
yeah.
It's so hard to explain. It gives you a
Yeah.
really weird feeling.
They had a really nice montage of them fixing
Mm,
the boat, and that was really good. And they squeezed
mm,
in that montage Bucky giving the mysterious suitcase
mm,
and
yeah,
all that, and that montage served the purpose of their bonding. Like you said, Bucky's kind of giving back to people rather than taking away.
yeah.
It showed a little bit of, you know, why am I drawing a blank on Falcon's name? What's his name?
Sam,
That's it.
Sam
Um,
Wilson, played by
Sam and his
Anthony Mackie.
sister. You got a bit of that. You got a bit of the
Yeah,
flirting with Bucky and
yeah,
Sam's
that was
sister,
funny. Yeah,
and but that was all done in the montage. And then they kind
yeah.
of just decided we're just gonna add another little kind of shite bit afterwards
Yeah,
for some reason.
shite bit. No, I know what you mean. The montage established everything quite well, and then there was like an awkward extra scene on the end of the montage that wasn't
Yeah,
part of it, but felt like it should have been. And then they start walking along, and the music starts playing again, as if it's like back to another montage. But then we're back with them
here we go
training.
again.
Yeah, it was really funny.
They haven't.
I
Sorry.
liked.
Oh, go
No,
on.
you go.
I was gonna say they haven't confirmed who the power broker is yet,
No, I'm telling
and
you, it's Mephisto.
can you imagine if it's Wolverine
Oh my god,
for
please.
some reason?
Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, there was something else. I liked when Sam was talking to Bucky about making amends. You've got to serve other people. You can't do it to make yourself feel good. It felt kind of like they were tying it back into his like military. What was it he did? He did like those, counseling sessions with
Yeah,
ex soldiers and stuff. It kind of felt like tying it back to that. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And they had that little awkward conversation about what their relationship is.
yeah. It was. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I made
Hmm.
the. I didn't think wasn't the best episode. But that's fine because that was obviously going to happen because there have been some crackers.
Yeah.
Uh, but I came away from that really pumped and kind of
Yeah.
feeling really positive about the season as a whole. I really liked it.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was the calm before the storm.
it
It
definitely
was
was.
like
It definitely was.
the
Yeah.
episode of Game of Thrones before the long night where you thought, oh, it's all going to go down.
No,
It didn't.
no. Game of Thrones. That was unbelievably annoying because that wasn't the calm before the storm. That was the calm before the calm before the storm. I hated that episode. As
It's
Game of
kind of the
Thrones,
calm before
that's
the
a whole other
calm.
thing.
Yeah, we've talked about that
Yeah,
excessively
we have.
before. We
I'm
will never
so
forget.
I'm so glad that I think this is the first time I've talked about Game of Thrones with anyone for at
Yeah.
least a year, by the way. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that I haven't had to talk about Game of
Sorry.
Thrones ever again.
Oh no, we will though.
And we
Consistently for
will.
the rest of our lives.
uh, do you have anything else you want to talk about with Falcon?
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Not particularly. I'm very excited for the final episode tomorrow, not to date this video.
It's going to be. We've got 2 costume reveals for sure. We're getting White Wolf and we're getting Captain America.
We might get White Wolf.
We're getting White Wolf.
Yeah.
They hinted at it again. I'm convinced. There's no way that Bucky's not getting involved. He got the suitcase with Captain America's suit in it. There's no way that they said to him, "Oh yeah, give this to Sam, the person that we've only met like once."
Mm.
Oh, by the way, here you go, White Wolf. Here's your wolf outfit that you ordered.
It's just a wolf's head.
That's what
we
I'm
didn't
hoping
have time.
for.
Yeah, but nothing else, just the head.
Yeah. That'd be ideal.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Seriously bulletproof though. Like for a wolf head, it's actually quite functional. But
every time
that's
a bullet
goes
in, it's just like shooting a wolf in the head. It's just it's just blood.
The whole thing actually has like a whole frame of robotics over it, and whenever you shoot the wolf head, it goes, "Oh!" and it's so disorientating. It's like, but Bucky's like, "Hang on, my gimmick was the metal arm. Did I really need this?"
He puts on his head, and there's just wolf head decay drips onto his nose.
Then Bucky goes, "Oh!"
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's our Bucky. Sam and Bucky, or should I say Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, have very good chemistry. And I think the
flexing your bloody actors, you love it. You love.
Oh, I need to say all their names.
Throwing their names around.
Just because you don't know any actors.
Oh, I don't. I'm so ignorant. I just don't know any.
If I've got one thing going for me, it's that I'm pretty good at remembering names of people in the movie industry.
Oh yeah, I mean, you need that to make up for your significant shortcomings.
Yeah, like my general shortness. I think that's one of the big strengths of the MCU is the seemingly very good, wholesome relationships between all of the cast members behind the scenes. They pull that off really well. There's very few scandals and stuff that happen.
Yeah,
they've got a really good, solid image there.
Yeah, they do. It's really cool.
It's good. It holds it together. It makes you like it more. Do you have any games you want to talk about, Jamie?
I actually do.
Hit me. So you sound extremely sad about that.
So there's one that I don't want to dwell on, but I do need to mention it. And there's another one which would explain my reaction.
To dwell
on. As you know, I messaged Jack. I've just got to Shadowbringers.
Final the reaction is explained. I know what you're going to say now.
No, you don't know. I don't think you do.
Okay.
And yeah, super good. I'm not going to go into it. I will say that this morning I was doing a 5 a.m. session of it, and there was a scene that I need to tell you about, and it was utterly horrifying. So, without going into any detail, but
that'll be
the main enemies in Shadowbringers are angels, basically, and we've seen a few lesser angels, but we see a kind of like a mid-tier angel, and it flies over, and there's a character that they've kind of introduced, and they've kind of, massaged them into the story, and you kind of think this is going to be like a character that is going to be added to the main crew. Like it's going to be like a mainstay. She gets killed.
Oh.
And it's so gruesome. Basically she runs a hospice for people who are turning into angels. It's a disease. And you get it from like this bright light. It's basically like
COVID.
UV rays, but instead of giving you cancer, it turns you into a horrific angel creature. And but she runs a hospice, and then like basically, when they're almost turned, she kills them with poison in the most nicest way she possibly can. Yeah, humane. That's what I was looking for. But she gets killed, and she's so nice, and she kind of goes like, oh, and she's got this sword through it. It comes out, and it's like, oh no, and she's gonna collapse and die. No, then her face starts to melt, And it's like the characters' faces are so
Mm.
shocked, and it makes it even more horrific. And then she just kind of like her eyes go all white and then like melt onto her face. Now, bear in mind, this doesn't happen ever in this game, okay? And like
Oh
her
my
whole body
god.
like retches, and then she like turns into a cocoon, and then inside you can hear like these squelching noises, like
Mm.
like properly like bone snapping and stuff. Like
Yeah.
and she comes out and she is this hideous, hideous angel thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well at least her pain and suffering's over. And then she says, there's a character called Alice. She goes, Alice, I'm sorry. And I'm like, no, she's still conscious. Oh god.
I don't mean to laugh so much, but the image of all cutting over to the other characters and they're just standing there so shocked.
Yeah, they
Like
are.
surprised Pikachu just watching this horrible thing happen in silence. Oh man.
The other game that I've been playing this week,
Yeah.
and it's an ongoing saga. I've mentioned it on the podcast before. It's Resident Evil
Yeah.
5.
Oh yeah.
I've finally, we're finally on the final boss. And I would have said, oh, I finished RE5. But oh my god, the final boss is unbelievably bad. Like, so just poor design philosophy in every sense. Just
Yeah.
we got to it, and it got to a point where it was 10:30. I had to get up early. It's like I'm done. Like it is the final boss. I'm like I don't want to. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. This is so awful.
Oh, that's so funny. Jamie has been getting up at 4 a.m. every day to play Final Fantasy 14.
No, I actually have work, but yeah.
Oh,
If you
man.
haven't played RE5, have you? Sorry, have you played RE5?
I haven't.
No.
I've seen a playthrough of it, but I don't remember the final boss.
It's Wesker, but he's like mutated and covered in metal and
I might
stuff.
actually remember it now you've immediately said
And he
that.
has a
Although I
huge
feel like
he has a
Wesker gets
huge whip
mutated
arm.
so often.
He just stands
Yeah, I
still
think
and
I
does
remember
this
that
for
one.
ages and doesn't actually do anything. And you can just like look at him and shoot him, and he doesn't move. He just does this.
It's just tedium.
It's tedium. The arena you fight him in is nonsensical,
Yeah.
uh, and it's also in a volcano, which is hilarious because you just die.
In the background, you see Timmy Turner
Oh
falling
my
down.
god, yeah, that was a really good throwback.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
if you get whipped by him, you like ragdoll, and you never ragdoll in this game. But for some reason, in this one scene, you just kind of just.
It's like the Saints Row insurance fraud missions. We're just like, whoa.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh,
I
man.
would not recommend you play Resident Evil 5 with a
Hmm.
friend. I strongly, strongly wouldn't recommend you play it on your own. I cannot imagine how much worse this game is playing it on your own. I cannot imagine.
Yeah. Well, next you've got Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, I actually purchased it on the store
You got it
yesterday
ready.
because it was on sale.
Man. Ready to go.
What have you
And
been
then you're all
playing?
caught up. I've been playing this every single week, but I'm going to talk about it today because for some reason something clicked yesterday and I thought this is my favorite thing. I've been playing Stardew Valley. I've been playing this with a friend of me and Jamie's called Niall, who has appeared on the channel, I think, multiple times, if not at least once.
Once, but we keep referencing him.
We reference him a lot. He will almost certainly appear again. I feel like I want to at some point do a video on our Stardew Valley game. But we've been just jumping in for like a few hours every week. I think we've clocked about like 16 to 18 hours now total because it's been going on for like quite a few weeks now. And it is just the most fun, wholesome time. We log in on an evening on like a Wednesday or a Thursday or something. We piss about on the farm for a while, get nice and productive, and it's just so much fun. We've got cows, we've got chickens, we're trying to woo some ladies. It's all happening, and we've got a great farm going. And if you have the chance to play Stardew Valley with someone, preferably someone who knows a little bit about the game, Niall was slightly more knowledgeable than me when we started, but I feel like I've kind of caught up. And we try to rely on the wiki as little as possible, but it's kind of unavoidable with this sort of game. But I would highly recommend it. It's such a fun time. And Jamie, you need to jump in and join us.
Yeah, I do. I really
The
do.
great thing about Stardew Valley is people can just jump in and out whenever they please.
You're not going
Like
to
a
want me to
Minecraft
play.
server.
I'm not going to be able to actually add anything to your
That's
farm.
fine. That's
but
fine.
Yeah.
Help us in the mines. It's a really good experience. It's really fun and wholesome. I've probably been playing other games, but that's all that comes to mind because we played it last night. It was good stuff. Niall religiously
Really
watches the podcast, so shout outs to Niall.
Yeah, that warms my heart.
Yeah, he's a very heartwarming man. That's pretty much all I've been playing. I've also been playing Chess Weekly with Ollie, the man who creates many themes for Openly Beta. His channel is usually linked in the description. And he frequently destroys me. It was the week before last. It's usually not too bad. Last week, I think we had 2 draws, and then he beat me once. It's like pretty close. The week before last, he beat me about 7 times in an hour, and I've never felt worse about myself as a human being.
That's a very quick game of chess.
Yeah, he beat me in about 4 moves in one of the games. It's forever documented on my chess.com profile.
That's unbelievably impressive.
No, I'm just unbelievably shite. Ollie is good at the game. He's not like a grandmaster. He's just significantly better than me.
Yeah.
His ranking on chess.com isn't actually much higher than mine.
Oh,
but yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I can psych him out if I start talking about Taskmaster. That's how I get him. Other than that, I'm doomed. That's my chess strat. I think we should also get more chess content on the channel, Jamie.
More chess content?
Yeah. I think Jack versus Jamie, Openly versus chess.
We could do one episode of you and me versus in chess. But
that's all we need. Jack's Gambit.
It's fair to say that is not our specialty. I don't think we'd be able to add much to the chess community.
Jamie, that's what people want these days. They've seen the Queen's Gambit, they want to get into chess. They watch Magnus Carlsen, they're intimidated. They want to see us play.
They saw the Queen's Gambit many months ago and have played chess, realised that they're crap, and they never want to play it ever again in their life. Or
that sounds like you're projecting.
Or the alternative, they got really into it, which I love chess. I say this to you often that I want to play chess with you, and then I forget.
We could just play weekly chess like me and Ollie do.
I wouldn't be able to commit to every single week, but
that's fair.
I would definitely want to do some chess.
Yeah, that would be good. This has definitely been the podcast where I reveal a lot about my personal routine.
Yeah. So what about your poos?
My poos, they're twice a day. I use an app called Poop Map. This isn't a joke. Me and a few of our friends downloaded an app called Poop Map. I'd highly recommend it, at least if you're in the UK. You go on there and you say when you're doing a poo, and it sends a notification to all of your friends. You can rate it, you can leave a description, you can even attach a selfie if you want, but we don't tend to do that.
You haven't used it I haven't used it in ages. I would say I haven't really properly used it yet. I haven't gotten into it.
No, you haven't gotten into it.
Ollie's done like 35 poos registered, or even more maybe. But I never get notifications from these people.
Oh wait, I haven't used it the last day. That's sad. Maybe I haven't pooped. Who knows? This is what the viewers want to listen to.
What the viewers want to listen to is me saying thank you very much for listening or watching, or both, to this podcast. I think
we should close this podcast out with a fan question of the day. So this question comes to us live from the Steam Stardew Valley forum. Chob asks, are there any mods to remove gay relationships? I feel uncomfortable with the idea that this game pushes the gay agenda. I'm sorry. If you're listening and not watching, Jamie has just covered his mouth
I love
The most hilarious
I
shots bashing.
I mean, that hurts to listen to, man.
Does anyone know of a mod that pushes this kind of content? Now, I'm going to answer the question for Chob, seeing as I've played a lot more Stardew Valley than Jamie has. I don't actually know of a mod that removes gay relationships from Stardew Valley. However, there is one way you can do it. You go to the main menu of the game, you load up your game, you play the game, and similar to in real life, you don't get in a gay relationship that you don't want to be in. And then there won't be any gay content. I know it's so tempting. I know people, gay people
Is
of the
this
same
is
gender.
this real?
It's hard to say no. This is a real question on the Steam forums.
I can only fathom that that is a joke and someone's just being extremely meta with that. I can't. How
I
can
can
you?
completely fathom that's a real person. Jamie, we all know gamers are the most oppressed minority.
You can't spell gamer without gay.
Oh, God.
Gar.
Oh, man. So that's the end of the podcast. We ended it with a nice
Oh man,
political message.
I've got. I always have Audacity up to check I'm not talking too loud, and
Yeah.
me saying "gar" resulted in this huge rectangle of wave.
God.
Well, thanks for watching, Lord. If you have any suggestions on how you would like us to do this podcast,
Yeah.
we will we'll promptly throw them out.
We're 48 episodes in and we're still learning.
We're 48 episodes in, and I think the truth of the matter is there's only so much that we can do over the internet. And I do think that once we're able to see each other again, the podcast will go back to being more of a ramp of improvement.
We'll be touching each other a lot.
We're touching each other a lot.
Yeah.
Might be some licking even, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, most likely. A lot of coughing on each other just because we haven't been able to do that.
Intimate coughing. This is what
Intimate coughing.
this is a world post lockdown looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, I
This
give
is the
you
future liberals want.
Jack.
If you have any questions for Openly Beta, be sure to leave them in the Steam Stardew Valley forums, and we will promptly take the piss out of them. Stay safe. Get vaccinated.